And as kind of training camp gets into the swing of it, more of these free agents are going to be signed. And a free agent that we can talk about right now is Adrian Peterson. He hopes to play his 15th season. Quote, "My body feels strong. I still feel young. I still feel good. I'm ready to play ball." So this man's a free agent, doesn't have a home yet, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity for Adrian Peterson to get back on a team once training camp gets into a full swing and coaches are like, yeah, I mean, we need either a second piece. We need kind of a veteran in here to kind of, spice it up a little bit, make these young guys get a little bit more competitive, or maybe even compete right off the rip for a starting job. Maybe Adrian Peterson can be the starting quarterback or starting running back on a team, folks. Let's see what he did last season. Can this man still get it done? What did he do last year? What has he really done in the last 2 seasons? So here we go. Adrian Peterson last season with Detroit. This is a bad Detroit team, folks. He had 604 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. And, he's never been the best catcher out of the backfield, only 100 yards receiving as well. So, 604 yards rushing, that's nothing great. That's not an A1, Tier 1 running back in this league, but a solid Tier 2. I can get behind my, second running back putting up 6+ hundred yards. I've got no problem with that. And then 2 years ago with Washington, 898 yards. And the last time he rushed for 1,000 yards was in 2018 with Washington as well. So, I mean, he's still proven that he can be this 1,000-yard rusher here in this league. And if he's saying he's feeling good, he's feeling fresh, he's feeling healthy, I say, some teams could potentially give this man an opportunity. All right, let's go into this article and let's see how Peterson is kind of feeling about himself in a situation that he's in right now. So as the NFL world prepares to open training camps within the next 8 days, many unsigned veterans hope to land gigs that provide a path to continuing their careers. Future Hall of Fame running back Adrian Peterson is one of those still without a home. Peterson hopes to play a 15th NFL season as he pecks away at the top of the all-time rushing leaderboard. The 36-year-old said last week that he still feels capable of contributing to a contender. Okay, so we also know, a lot of these kind of older veteran free agents, they want to be on a contending team. They're done playing with the trash organizations. They don't have that many seasons left. They don't have that much time left to win a ring or win games or be competitive at the highest level. So, being in Detroit's not really an option for Adrian Peterson. Not being in, Washington's really not an option for Adrian Peterson either. He's paid his dues the last 3 years of kind of being on real not great teams overall, and now he wants to go on a contender and compete for a chip. And he still thinks he can do so. So, quote, "The training is going well, and I'm going to control the things that I can control right now. And when that time comes, somebody will give me a call. That's all I'm asking for. My body feels good. I came out healthy from last season. My body feels strong. I still feel young. I still feel good. I'm ready to play ball." So why not give the 36-year-old, great veteran running back a chance? Obviously, we all know Adrian Peterson. He almost broke the rushing yard, the single-season rushing record with 2,096. What did he have? Came just short of it, and he put up 297 yards, a little closer than what Derrick Henry got. So once again, y'all know we're big on, I want to see somebody break this single season rushing record. Adrian Peterson very close a couple years ago, and Derrick Henry very, very close last season. All right, anything else here? Peterson has long-eyed Emmitt Smith's rushing record at 14,820 rushing yards. He sits 450 yards away from passing Barry Sanders, 15,269 for 4th all-time. Gore, 16,000 yards. Walter Payton, 16,726 yards. And Emmitt Smith, 18,355 yards. Make up the top 3. Jeez Louise, nobody's catching Emmitt Smith at 18,000. Whew, maybe Derrick Henry can. He's still got plenty of time in the league. If he does find a job at some point in the coming weeks, Peterson hopes it's with a club that could give him a chance at finally earning a Super Bowl ring. Quote, "Yeah, I've been chasing it for a long time. It would be really nice to finally get one." Alrighty, let's quickly go through the NFL teams to kind of see which ones can compete for a ring, but also need kind of a solid running back, a solid tier 2 running back for them. So The Seattle Seahawks, obviously, we like Chris Carson. Adrian Peterson can just be that great number 2 and provide that leadership that the Seahawks team would need. I mean, could you imagine having Russell Wilson and Adrian Peterson all in the kind of the same huddle? All that veteran presence? Ooh, boy. Yes, sir. Put him on the Seahawks. I would love it. The Rams, absolutely. Cam Akers is real solid, but then Adrian Peterson in number 2, and we know the Rams are kind of Super Bowl contenders this season. Absolutely love it there. The Arizona Cardinals, potential there. They do have, who they pick up? Kenyon Drake, is that what they got? Cardinals depth chart, let's bring that up quickly. I don't think they got too deep. Who do they got? Chase Edmonds and James Conner. So Chase Edmonds, solid number 1. Maybe Adrian Peterson can even beat this man out for the number 1 spot, honestly. And then James Conner, Adrian Peterson never has to worry about James Conner being a threat to him in getting any carries in the backfield. No way. So solid kind of landing spot for the Cardinals. Did he play for the Cardinals for a season? He did. He played for 6 games there. 448 yards in 2017, and then he went to the Saints for the rest of the season. But yeah, potentially there with the Cardinals. They're just not the best Super Bowl contenders, so probably doesn't end up there. But he could be the starter. If he wants to be the starter while trying to compete for a ring, the Cardinals could definitely be that position. And then Adrian Peterson teamed up back with Larry Fitzgerald, both potentially getting their first ring. We are big on that as well. Could you imagine DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, and Adrian Peterson all getting their first rings, and JJ Watt all getting their first rings on a team together? Now that's what I want to see. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. And they all got big dreams of getting rings. So the Cardinals' potential there. The 49ers, they got Raheem Mostert, really kind of focusing on him. I don't know if they would really kind of want a tier 2 back for that team. And, you know, with Jimmy Garoppolo and the quarterback situation up in the air, I don't know if, Adrian Peterson is going to want to go to a little bit. It's a tiny bit dysfunctional just in, the overall quarterback room there, just because you don't know who they're going to go with. You don't know if Jimmy G can stay healthy, and you don't know if Trey Lance can actually play in the NFL. So out of the NFC West, it's really either the Seahawks or the Rams. I think that's the best kind of 2 choices there. All right, then we go to the Saints. Once again, it's like they've got these new quarterbacks, and we don't know if they're going to be able to be back to Super Bowl contenders like they were with Drew Brees. They do have Alvin Kamara, and there's really not that much opportunities to get the ball since he does it all, rushing and catching the ball. The Tampa Bay Bucks, yeah, why not? They could always use some more extra talent. They've got no problem. Bringing in everybody. They brought in Leonard Fournette. They got AB. So they've got no problem bringing in the big names that don't have a ring. They still have Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. So, Adrian Peterson wouldn't be the tier 1 or the tier 2 back here of Tampa Bay, but he could be a solid kind of third option. We've got no problem with that. Would he have a problem with that? Definitely the Tampa Bay Bucks are Super Bowl contenders. All right, the Panthers, they got Christian McCaffrey, really no room. Once again, like the Saints, really no room for Adrian Peterson to get it done. The Atlanta Falcons, this is an interesting one because they have no running game at all. We don't like anybody on their running game at all. We don't like Meg Davis, and we don't really like the Cordell Patterson that much. They're kind of they're honestly, I don't want to disrespect them like this, but they're borderline tier 3 running backs that maybe play up to tier 2 at some points in their career. But the Falcons could be a real good spot for this man to, reassert himself as, a running back 1 in this league. Just unfortunately, I don't know if this Falcons team is Super Bowl contenders. A new head coach. Matt Ryan's never really been able to kind of prove to get it done in the big games, late in big game scenarios of finishing off wins. So it's a little interesting there. The Washington football team can definitely just kind of be the main man there, but once again, not really Super Bowl contenders. The Giants have Saquon Barkley, the Cowboys have Zeke, and the Eagles have not a Super Bowl contending team. So not really going anywhere in the NFC East, I don't think. The Green Bay Packers, you got Aaron Jones. If you want to sit behind Aaron Jones and just kind of, do your thing as the running back 2, that'd be solid. The Packers, once again, potentially Super Bowl contenders as well. We do believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to play this year. We are kind of basing all of our information on all of our kind of, narratives and theories and just where we place teams and players, we are kind of going along with that Aaron Rodgers will show up for the Packers this year. We do believe he will play. So that's obviously Super Bowl contenders there. The Chicago Bears, what do they got at running back? I don't think they got anything. Potential. I mean, this is, very low odds, but I would still say Super Bowl contenders as long as Justin Fields plays solid. I would say they could potentially come out of the NFC. But then you got David Montgomery and Tyree Cohen. Obviously, he can, be the main guy here in Chicago. It's just whether this man thinks, Adrian Peterson thinks that this Bears team is a potential Super Bowl contending team, potentially. Like I said, when I'm listing kind of Super Bowl contenders, the Bears would definitely be, very bottom of that list, but I think they could pull something. The Vikings have Delvin Cook. Once again, don't think this team is Super Bowl contenders under Kirk Cousins. And the Detroit Lions, he just came from there. You're not going back. The Tennessee Titans, hey, just back up Derrick Henry. Just back up Derrick Henry. That's it. That's all you got to do. And you could potentially be Super Bowl contenders. Definitely there. The Colts, I would say to go to the Colts because we do have them winning the Super Bowl. It's just they've already got 3 deep. Do we need 4 deep running backs on a team? I don't think they're calling the man, unfortunately. The Houston Texans steer clear of their trash team. Same thing with the Jags. Steer clear of that team. They are trash. All right, the Buffalo Bills. Oh, that's the spot right there. That is the spot right there. Please. Oh, I think this is going to happen, folks. Adrian Peterson to the Bills. I think that's the perfect fit for this man. That's what Adrian Peterson kind of likes, kind of just, running through the trenches. We know Buffalo Bills, a blue-collar town, a blue-collar team. You've got Josh Allen. Their passing game is absolutely fantastic. You don't have to worry about that. Super Bowl contenders. They were just in the AFC Championship game last season. And then you just have to beat out Devin Singletary? Okay, easy, I'll do that. And then, if they still rock with Devin Singletary, Adrian Peterson could be a great second option at running back. This is the perfect fit for the man. That's where he goes. That's the best fit that we've seen so far. The Buffalo Bills. Go there. He's going to get signed there, folks. I'd put money on that. I would put money on that. I love that so much, folks. Super Bowl contender, potentially also starting as running back 1 there. What more does he want? That's what he wants, no? The Dolphins, I mean, this is kind of the same thing. Like the Bills, definitely need a running back. No great running back in Myles Gaskin. He's bottom 25 running back in the league. The Dolphins, are we Super Bowl contenders right yet? I wouldn't say Super Bowl contenders. I would say, medium playoff run contenders. Don't know about Super Bowl just quite yet. The Patriots, once again, they've got no great running back either, so he could go there, but are they Super Bowl contenders? I don't know with Cam Newton. I can't get it. And then the Jets, they're not Super Bowl contenders. We do believe a little bit of Robert Saleh, but that's not the fit. The Pittsburgh Steelers, that could be an interesting fit for Adrian Peterson as well, just to back up Najee Harris. And oh my God, I would love for Najee Harris to learn from Adrian Peterson. Yes, sir. I mean, that's, if you have to learn from any running back in the league that's still here, you learn from Adrian Peterson. And, the Steelers can be the Super Bowl champions. And, having Big Ben and Adrian Peterson all on the same team, I mean, they both know it's kind of do or die. They know they have to get it done now because they really don't know if they have another season in them. So, go to the Steelers and get it done. I think that's a great fit as well. The Ravens, I just don't know if he's going to fit the overall scheme of the team. They already have 2 solid running backs, and I don't really think they need Adrian Peterson. I don't think they're calling. The Browns, they've already got 2 great ones. Adrian Peterson would get no burn as, running back 3 for this team. The Bengals are not Super Bowl contenders. The Chiefs, this is an interesting one because they only have Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the running back, which is still a good running back. We're not knocking Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but, how much burn is he going to get? He can definitely beat out Darrell Wilson or Darrell Williamson Darrell Williams. Jeez, missed the name 3 times. But he could definitely beat this man out as running back 2 here, no problem. And then he could potentially get a ring with the Chiefs because we know it's the Chiefs. You got to respect it. The Raiders, they've already got kind of 2 solid ones. Josh Jacobs, and they got Kenyon Drake. That's who we're talking about. Yep. So Kenyon Drake there as well. Not really going to get too much burn. The Chargers, they got Melvin Gordon, which we don't like. I think he could beat Melvin Gordon out for the starting job. And the Chargers don't have a kind of a running back too. So potentially going to play with the Chargers. They're not really Super Bowl contenders. Really just kind of, early playoff contenders. But, we believe in Justin Herbert. Maybe he can really truly put it on year 2 and just get it done. And then the Broncos here. Or no, the Chargers don't have Melvin Gordon. Who do the Chargers have? I was thinking about the Broncos. Let's bring up the Chargers depth chart really quickly. Oh, they got Austin Eckler, who we are kind of fans of. We do believe that man can get it done. Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson. What did Justin Jackson do last season? 270. So, yeah, he could definitely be running back 2 out there. And then for the Broncos, the last team to go over, they got Melvin Gordon. He could definitely be the number 2 here in Denver. And like we said, is this Denver team Super Bowl contenders? Not really. So I think that truly the best fits for Adrian Peterson are the Bills or the Steelers or the Rams or the Seahawks. If I'm ordering them, Bills 1, Steelers 2, Seahawks 3, Rams 4. If Adrian Peterson truly wants to compete for a ring and feels like he's good enough to kind of be the A1 tier 1 on a team, go get it done, Adrian Peterson. We believe in you. All right, before we move off of this topic, let's keep talking about free agents for a little bit here. Around the NFL tweets out the best landing spots for veteran free agents. So let's kind of see what they're saying on some of these top free agents. Let's kind of remind you guys what some of these free agents are out here that are still eligible. I want to kind of talk about this as well. So this website, NFL TradeRumors.com, they posted their top 100 available 2021 NFL free agents, and they have number 1 being Steven Nelson, a cornerback. And I don't know if I really agree with this. I don't even know what this man can really do as a corner. We kind of look at his stats from last season, just nothing great. It's solid stats: 2 interceptions, 9 pass defenses, a fumble recovery, no sacks, not coming off the edge on a cornerback, blitz and hitting the quarterback. Couple of tackles to help him out, but y'all know how we judge cornerbacks here. We got his name up on the playerprofile.com so we can see what he was doing, how many yards he was giving up against the A1 tier 1 wide receivers in this league. That's what we care about when we look at cornerbacks. Are you shutting down the best receivers in the game? DK Metcalf, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Are you locking them all up? So just kind of want to quickly take a look at Steven Nelson here because they have him ranked as the top free agent, above Melvin Ingram, the edge rusher, above Richard Sherman, above Rick Wagner, above KJ Wright, the linebacker, above Le'Veon Bell, above Olivier Vernon, another great edge rusher, above Geno Atkins, above Todd Gurley, above Everson Griffin, another edge rusher, above Kenny Stills, above Nikhil Roby-Coleman, another cornerback, above Golden Tate, wide receiver, above Larry Fitzgerald, above Danny Amendola, above Alshon Jeffrey, above Josh Gordon, above Tyler Eifert, above Prince Amukamara, another good, solid corner, above Josh Norman, another solid. He kind of got bitched by Derrick Henry. A little hard to live that down, cornerback. Above Vic Beasley, another edge rusher. So y'all know what we're going with here. So let's see if Steven Nelson is shutting down the top tier wide receivers here. So let's quickly take a look at his 2020 game logs out here. Who is he facing? All right, week 1 against Darius Slayton, 4 catches for 76 yards allowed. Not the greatest there. Will Fuller, 5 catches on 6 targets for 48 yards. That's a real solid lockup right there. Against OBJ, 1 of 2 targets for 3 yards. A.J. Brown, 4 of 7 for 123 yards. That's a little bit of a burn there. Against Amari Cooper, 3 of 3 for 50 yards. That's a pretty solid burn. Against Marquise Brown of the Ravens, 6 of 9 for 95 yards. So the speed, too much for this man to handle. A.J. Green, 6 of 11 for 44 yards. That's a good lockup right there. DJ Chark, 4 of 9 for 41 yards. Dez Bryant, 0 of 2 for 0 yards, locking up Dez Bryant, but we know this old Dez Bryant was really nothing great. I mean, that man could have easily been the wide receiver number 1 for that Ravens team last year, but just never got it done. Unfortunate. All right, against Stephon Diggs, 7 of 14 for 86 yards and 1 pass defense. Not terrible overall. Michael Pittman of the Colts, 5 of 8 for 72 yards. So overall solid. This man's a solid cornerback. Didn't really face any of the great ones. His best wide receiver that he faced was Stephon Diggs, 50% catch percentage for 86 yards. Amari Cooper, 50 yards on 100% catch percentage, not the greatest. Michael Pittman, 5 of 8 for 72 yards. We do really highly regard Michael Pittman as well. So Steven Nelson, not a bad corner, a solid number 2 corner. Definitely not going to be a cornerback number 1 on your team. So if he does get picked up, just by a team that needs a second cornerback, and he'll be all right. All right, so we still have, big names out here, Melvin Ingram, Richard Sherman, but now with this whole, DUI and domestic violence things, it's going to be a little bit harder for him. But we still have, some solid running backs. We got Le'Veon Bell, we got Adrian Peterson, some solid other, edge rushers, Olivier Vernon. So there is a lot of great talent out here. It's older talent. All these, players are about, 28 to like 33. So that's where kind of, the pause comes in. Are they still going to be able to kind of, be at their highest level as they start to age out of the league a little bit? So that's, another reason why these players are not getting big contracts, and a lot of teams are just kind of, waiting until what they're truly getting in training camp before they go and kind of, make that decision. All right, but let's go into this right here. Back to best landing spots for veteran free agents. Let's see what they are talking about here. So Melvin Ingram, a great pass rusher. They project him to, or they, want him to go to the Chiefs. They say that is his best fit. Last season, Kansas City pressured opposing quarterbacks on just 23% of dropbacks. That was 23rd in the NFL. While some of that was due to strategic decision-making, it was still uncharacteristic of a Steve Spagnuolo defense and definitely not a high probability method of stopping opposing passers. We know that works in the league, folks. You need to have an elite pass rush. We know this. We just saw that win the championship, and that was really the only way to stop the Chiefs. If you get after Patrick Mahomes, make him scramble, make him uncomfortable, make him escape the pocket, and not have all that time to throw to wide open Tyreek Hill 80 yards down the field every single time. You got to pressure him. So the Chiefs could, use what every team uses against them to use against their opposing teams. That's fantastic. All right, here we go. While Ingram has missed a dozen games over the past 2 seasons, likely the biggest cause of him still being a free agent, he didn't miss a single start from 2015 through 2018. One measurement I like to study with pass rushers is burst, which is the speed someone is able to reach in the first 3 yards traveled. Not first 3 yards forward, but total yards traveled. An NFL head coach asked me to clarify this, so it's a point well taken. Anyhow, in the games Ingram has played in over the past 2 seasons, his burst has ranked as high as 4th fastest among edge rushers, but it hasn't been a consistent figure, which suggests the injuries have indeed been a factor. In Ingram's first 4 seasons, the consistency in his burst metric ranked in the top 10% among edge rushers, and his fourth quarter drop off to approximate fatigue was 5th lowest in the league. In other words, if Ingram is right, the potential of production is strong. All right, and then they say Mitchell Schwartz, an offensive tackle, going to the Steelers. We know the Steelers team has 4 new offensive linemen. You definitely need to bring in a little bit more depth there just so you can kind of figure out the line. That's going to be something, one of the narratives that we are looking for during the Steelers in their training camp is, can their offensive line get it done? And can Mike Tomlin, make the perfect fit? All right, him on the left side, let's move him to right tackle. Let's move the right guard over to left guard just so it works overall with the group that we have. So bringing in some offensive lineman depth could definitely help out the Steelers a lot. How many offensive linemen? A lot of offensive linemen are kind of, top 10 here of the top 100 free agents still listed. We get Mitchell Schwartz, who we just said. He's they rank him number 2 overall of free agents, an offensive tackle. Then we have David DeCastro, a guard. He's ranked number 3. Then we got Russell Okung, another offensive tackle, ranked number 5th. Rick Wagner, offensive tackle, ranked number 8. So there's 4 linemen in the top 10 of top 100 free agents still available. So we'll see if the Steelers kind of make a rush for that. Let's see if they make a rush early for it. That kind of tells us that the Steelers are having troubles with their offensive line, or if they just kind of do it at the end of training camp just as a little bit of an insurance policy. So that's why we're going to be tracking that Steelers offensive lineman narrative very bigly. Are they doing it right at the start of training camp? That kind of tells us, hey, this is not working right off the rip. We need to get more people in here. We need to try to figure out this adjustment. Or do they kind of do it after preseason game 2, after preseason game 3, when they have an extra roster spot and they just want a little bit more offensive lineman depth? That kind of tells us, hey, the offensive line is good. We just want the depth now. We just want a little bit of a wild card. Something happens, gosh forbid, knock on wood, something happens. We have to replace them. We can. So we'll see what the Steelers do, but NFL.com definitely thinks the Steelers should go for another lineman. And then we got Justin Houston, another edge rusher. They predict him to go to the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see what they say on this one. I feel like many people don't realize that Houston has posted 8+ sacks in each of the past 4 seasons, but not you and I, we know it. That said, when it comes to pass rushing effectiveness, sacks aren't the end-all be-all. If I had to use one metric to judge pass rushers, I'd go with pressures. Didn't you just say that you would go with burst speed? Now he's going with pressures? Okay. And I've been working on 2 sub-metrics that I'm calling key pressures and assist pressures. Key pressures are the ones that are play drive ending, so sacks are included. Meanwhile, assist pressure, well, think about how Aaron Donald routinely gets triple teamed, creating more space for teammates to generate pressure. So we know the offensive side of the ball with the Falcons is real solid besides the running backs. We kind of wanted to see Le'Veon Bell. The Falcons signed Le'Veon Bell as a free agent, but they kind of say, hey, go get this edge rusher, finish up the defense a little bit, and you'll be solid. All right, then they say KJ Wright should go back to Seattle. Just go there again, linebacker, get it done. He says, yep, I think Wright would fit in best, right where he's always been, in Seattle. PFF gave Wright a 78.7 coverage grade in 2020, ranking 8th best among linebackers. My computer vision tracking shows his effectiveness against the pass improved in 2020 over 2019 in 2 significant categories: total yards allowed when passes traveled within 6 feet of him, and first down/touchdowns allowed on passing downs when the ball traveled within 6 feet of him. Both marks were about 10% better in 2020 than in 2019. This equated to about 10.5% fewer yards per play and 9.6% fewer extended drives, touchdowns, when he was near enough to cover. So this man is still getting better, according to whoever's writing this article. Let's point out his name, doing all the great work. He doesn't put his name to it. Interesting. I'm guessing it's this girl, Cynthia Freyland, because she doesn't name her name, but just at the end of the article it says follow Cynthia Freyland on Twitter. So I'm assuming this is her. Yeah, so they kind of have some of these top free agents. They only did what, 3 of them? They said that or 4 of them. They said they didn't do Richard Sherman just because of the ongoing lawsuits against them. That's why they pulled them out. But a team that needs a solid corner. Let's see what Richard Sherman did last season. Was he locking up? Can we buy Richard Sherman, or do we take Steven Nelson over Richard Sherman when we have to just bring in a corner to shut it all down? So let's see what Richard Sherman was doing last season against the A1 Tier 1 corners. Here we go. Missed a lot of games. Missed weeks 2 through 11, unfortunately. Week 1 against Christian Kirk, 3 of 5 for 22 yards. Robert Woods, 4 of 7 for 38 yards, a pick and a pass breakup. That's great. Against Stephon Diggs, he got absolutely killed. 10 of 12 for 137 yards. Against Cameron Sims, 2 of 4 for 21 yards. And against Amari Cooper, 3 of 6 for 20 yards. So this was actually a pretty solid season for Richard Sherman. Being kind of, injured most of the season, locking up the tier 2 wide receivers absolutely perfectly. Now, when it came to Stephon Diggs, absolutely burned Richard Sherman. We know Richard Sherman isn't the fastest kind of, overall corner, and Stephon Diggs can beat you right off the line. So Richard Sherman could definitely be that kind of, tier 2 corner that you need on a team, and he locks up, the tier 2s decently out there. So that's not a bad pickup. Richard Sherman is still viable, folks. It's just, that drunken, disorderly, wild video and all the accounts that we've been hearing from him, trying to break down his father-in-law's door, not looking good. That's the only mark that we have on him. His stats of 2020 were real solid. We love that. Besides Stephon Diggs. That's unfortunate. So that's kind of where we are at the free agent mark. And like we said, this is when, free agents are going to start to get signed. Right at the start of training camp, midway training camp, end of training camp. The next 2 weeks should be real interesting to see what teams go after what. What do they feel like their team is missing to go all the way? And there's some real solid names out here, folks. Corners, offensive linemen, edge rushers, which are truly needed, running backs. There's 2 solid running backs here, folks. Let's see if Todd Gurley even gets a second chance, a third chance, honestly. Didn't make it completely work with Atlanta last season. We really wished it was a little bit of a better season for Todd Gurley last year. But once again, you need kind of a tier 3, just another added option. Todd Gurley could potentially be that. So, Le'Veon Bell, Adrian Peterson, Todd Gurley. Let's see if they get signed. Larry Fitzgerald, Golden Tate, Danny Amendola, Kenny Stills. Some good wide receivers as well. Alshon Jeffrey. Some good ones. Tyler Eifert. Y'all know we need this man back in tight end university, baby. Did Tyler Eifert get invited? I feel like Tyler Eifert did, and the man's a free agent. Let's bring up our favorite article right here. Every tight end invited to tight end university. Was Tyler Eifert on this list? Let's see. Going down, scrolling. Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, Blake Bell, Kyle Rudolph, Logan Thomas, Dawson Knox, Dallas Goedert, Irv Smith, Tyler Higbee, Chris Herndon, Austin Hooper, Keldon Smith, Mercedes Lewis, Hayden Hurst, CJ Uzomah, Colby Parkinson, Anthony Fursker, Chris Manhertz, Ross Dwellery, Dominique Daphne. Come on, where is this man? Come on, Tyler Eifert. Let's see. Did they not invite Tyler Eifert? Oh, no Tyler Eifert. No free agent. They said this man ain't got no home. You not having no home. You staying not having no home. So maybe stay away from Tyler Eifert. We're only getting big on tight ends that were a part of Tight End University because, you learn all that great information from the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. So, yeah, maybe you got to stay away from Tyler Eifert. How old is this man? 30? Ugh, yikes. So, a lot of good free agents still available, folks. And we'll see as training camps begin who goes where.